Ever wonder why some people command instant respect without saying a word, while others are constantly overlooked, talked over, or taken for granted? You've probably felt it. You walk into a room and despite being polite, respectful, and thoughtful, people interrupt you. They dismiss your ideas. They assume you'll say yes to anything. And you start to ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? But here's the truth. It's not about how loud you are. It's not about being aggressive or trying to dominate. It's about the energy you carry. The way you move, the way you speak or don't speak. The way you present yourself tells people exactly how to treat you. Whether you realize it or not, you're teaching people with every action, every reaction, every subtle choice. If you're always explaining, apologizing, people learn to expect that from you. If you shrink back when someone challenges you, people learn you're easy to challenge. But when you act differently, calm, deliberate, rooted, people respond differently. They pause, they pay attention, they step back, not out of fear, but out of respect. And that shift, that's not random. It's not luck. It's cause and effect. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to carry yourself in a way that makes people treat you differently, not because you're playing games, but because you're no longer playing small. We're going to break down Stoic principles you can apply right now. Things like composure, silence, presence, and restraint that subtly signal power and shift the entire dynamic of how people engage with you. And here's the best part. You won't have to raise your voice, chase attention, or change who you are. You'll simply stop giving away your power and start letting the world adjust to your presence. So if you're ready to stop being overlooked and start being respected, not for what you say, but for how you carry yourself, then stick with me. Trust me, once you learn to embody this quiet strength, everything changes. And if this message resonates with you already, take a second to like this video. Share it with someone who needs to reclaim their presence, and subscribe for more Stoic insights that help you live from a place of confidence, control, and calm. Now let's get into it and watch how people start treating you differently. Let's establish something that most people never fully realize. You teach people how to treat you. Not with words, not with rules, but with your behavior. Every time you let someone interrupt you without addressing it, every time you overextend yourself to be liked, every time you bite your tongue to avoid discomfort, you're sending a message. That message says, it's okay to disregard me. And people listen. Not consciously, not maliciously, but consistently. Because human beings don't respond to what you say. They respond to what you tolerate. The Stoics had a word for this, autarkeia, meaning self-sufficiency. They believe that the truly wise person carries themselves in a way that is complete, not needy, not reactive, not seeking validation from the outside world. When you operate from this state of inner calm and completeness, you stop chasing approval. You stop bending to be accepted. You begin radiating a quiet message. I know who I am and I'm not here to prove it. And suddenly people feel that. Respect isn't about being dominant or flashy. It's about being centered, grounded, unshakable. And that kind of presence is rare, which is exactly why it commands attention without effort. But here's the problem. Too many of us have been conditioned to believe that respect must be earned through people-pleasing. We've learned to keep the peace, avoid conflict, and stay agreeable at all costs. That's not Stoicism. That's self-erasure. The Stoic teaches that while we cannot control the opinions or behaviors of others, we can control how we show up. And how we show up becomes the standard by which others treat us. When you walk into a room with calm confidence, when you speak slowly and clearly, when you listen more than you speak, when you say no without explaining, you're sending signals that say, I respect myself. You should too. You don't have to demand respect. You don't have to force it. You simply embody it. From here on out, everything we're going to cover in this video comes back to this one principle. You are always communicating your value, whether you realize it or not. So the question is, are you teaching people to treat you with respect? or with disregard. Stick around, because the subtle shifts we'll cover next might be all it takes to change how people see you forever. A while back, I was sitting in a high-pressure meeting, one of those situations where egos filled the room and everyone was trying to prove something. People were talking fast, cutting each other off, trying to dominate the conversation. There was this guy across from me. We'll call him David. Loud, confident, seemed to have a comment for everything. And for the first 15 minutes, he talked over everyone, including me. Now, normally, the old version of me would have jumped in, tried to match his energy, prove I belonged there. But something in me said, don't chase the noise, own your silence. So I sat still, calm. I didn't lean forward, I didn't fight to speak. I waited, I watched, and when the moment came and everyone had run themselves in circles, I spoke, slowly, clearly, one sentence, two at most. Then I stopped. The room went quiet. David looked over, and for the first time that day, he actually listened. Not because I was louder, not because I tried to overpower him, but because I was grounded, controlled. I wasn't playing the game. I was showing I didn't need to. That moment changed something. I noticed it in every interaction after. People paused when I spoke. They didn't cut me off as easily. They leaned in. Why? Because I didn't seem like I needed their approval. I already had mine. That's the power of stillness and restraint. The Stoics believed that true strength lies in self-mastery, not self-display. They taught that those who are truly powerful don't need to prove it, they embody it. And when you move from that space, people respond to you differently. Restraint is magnetic. It creates space. It draws attention because it suggests you're holding something powerful inside, and that you're not desperate to give it away. That's what I want you to take from this story. You don't need to force presence. You just need to stop leaking it. Next time you're in a conversation, a meeting, or even a confrontation, try stillness. Don't fidget. Don't fill the silence. Don't rush to respond. Just sit with your breath, hold your posture, and speak only when it matters. You'll be surprised how quickly the energy in the room changes, because energy respects presence, and presence begins the moment you stop performing and start embodying. There's a reason why some people can walk into a room and command respect, without raising their voice, without demanding attention, and without needing to prove anything. It's not luck. It's not charisma. It's presence. And presence isn't loud. It isn't showy. In fact, the most powerful presence is often the most subtle. It's the person who stands tall, speaks with intention, and doesn't rush to fill silence. The person who listens more than they talk, who holds eye contact without being aggressive, who chooses their words with precision and doesn't chase validation with every breath. In psychology, this effect is real. It's called nonverbal dominance. The ability to project authority, calm, and confidence without ever needing to assert it verbally. And here's what's fascinating. People automatically respond to it. When you carry yourself with grounded stillness, others lower their voices. They slow their speech. They become more careful with their words. Why? Because your calm forces them to match your pace. The Stoics knew this before psychology ever caught up. Marcus Aurelius didn't command legions because he barked orders. He led through dignified restraint. Epictetus wasn't free in the literal sense. He was born a slave, but his inner discipline gave him a presence that outshone emperors. That's the kind of power we're talking about. Not control over others, but command over yourself. The mistake many people make is believing that being heard means being louder. That respect is something you have to chase. But the Stoic flips that completely. Respect flows toward stillness, toward someone who doesn't flinch, who doesn't beg to be liked, who doesn't bend at every opinion. Presence is about energy, and you can either scatter yours with constant talking, fidgeting, reacting, or you can hold it. When you hold your energy, when you resist the urge to overshare, to justify, to win approval, you become magnetic. People notice. They lean in. They question themselves before questioning you. It's not arrogance. It's not performance. It's simply the quiet authority of someone who knows who they are and isn't afraid to act like it. And once you realize this, you stop reacting to every opinion. You stop lowering yourself to fit in. You start standing taller, not just in posture, but in presence. Because the most powerful statement you can make isn't loud, it's silent. It's the energy that says, I don't need to be seen, I already see myself. Now that you understand the power of presence, it's time to make this real. Because here's the truth. Knowing is nothing without embodying. The way you carry yourself, the way you move, speak, listen, and react, isn't just a reflection of who you are. It's a signal to the world. And every signal you send is either saying, respect me or overlook me. So I want to give you a challenge. Just 7 days. 7 days of intentional, grounded presence. You don't need to change your personality. You don't need to pretend to be someone you're not. This is about returning to yourself, the most calm, focused, and composed version of you. Here's what I want you to try for the next 7 days. 1. Speak less. Listen more. Pause before you speak. Let people finish. Let silence be okay. When you do speak, speak slowly and deliberately. You'll notice people lean in when you don't rush to be heard. 2. Make eye contact without forcing it. Eye contact should feel steady, not aggressive. It says, I'm present, I see you, I'm not afraid. That alone can shift an entire conversation. 3. Stop over-explaining. If someone asks why you made a decision, give them a direct answer. Then stop. Let the silence carry your confidence. 4. Walk and sit with posture. Shoulders relaxed, chest open, chin level. Move like someone who doesn't need to prove anything, because you don't. 5. Say no without guilt. You don't need 1,000 reasons. A simple, no, I can't, is enough. Respect begins when you stop apologizing for your boundaries. These aren't tactics to manipulate others. They're ways to train yourself to move with intention and clarity. When you carry yourself this way, people notice. They may not be able to explain it, but they'll feel something different. They'll speak to you differently. They'll treat you with more care. Not because you demanded it, but because you signaled that you demand it of yourself. And that's the Stoic way. Influence not through noise, but through discipline. Power not through control, but through presence. So if you're ready, take the challenge. Try it for a week, then come back and tell me what changed. And if you're already feeling inspired, like this video, subscribe for more Stoic strategies, and share this with someone who needs to rediscover their quiet strength. The final step is next. Let's wrap this up the way a Stoic would.